Today, I have this
Mhm.
story about some vigilante justice. Have you guys heard anything about it?
No,
You haven't? Okay.
No?
not
No.
really, no.
Mm-mm.
I mean, when you say vigilante justice, who's the vigilante?
Before we get into that, this is Criminally Obsessed, our weekly show where we talk about the stories that you, the audience, have been most excited about this past week. I'm Megan McBride, and I'm here with my best friends, or as they'd like to call themselves, my colleagues, Ann Emerson and John Duda. I'm so glad that you guys are going into this like completely not knowing anything. So, okay, I'll do a little backstory. So, Genesis Mata, 8 years old, found dead in a hotel room. Her father and her stepmother were both arrested for her murder. And so the vigilante justice occurred to her stepmother, Graciela Bustamante. She was in jail, and another inmate kind of beat her ass up.
Oh, okay.
Why?
Yeah. Well, okay. It's actually really interesting that we have an interview from our station, Bakersfield, KBAK. They have an interview with the inmate who beat up this child murderer or alleged child murderer. Sorry.
Why did you do what you did to her the day that it happened?
When it comes to the system, I was a foster child myself. I see my mom go through her own abuses. Some of the girls had seen her not taking it too seriously, as what they said. She had come back from court and she was laughing and giggling and stuff, and they were just like, "Why? What's funny?"
And so she was upset, and it seems like other people were upset that that she wasn't taking this case very seriously, and so she decided to take it into her own hands, and she beat her up.
That's
Do
unbelievable.
we know how bad she was beat up? Like, what were any?
So I don't know the specific details. I do know that it was bad enough that Bustamante was sent to the hospital, but she's back now.
Okay, so
Was she just doing it by herself? Or was it like turning into a mob scene?
It seems to be by herself. She wasn't allowed to talk about it in the interview, the specifics. It seemed like she was like very coached by her attorney, which is good for her. All that I know from context clues from the raw interview that I watched is that the interviewer was like, "So I heard there was something that went down with a broomstick," and then the woman, Anita Doron, she was like, "Yeah, I can't talk about it."
wow.
Wow. So she got so pissed at this person
Mhm.
that she literally like hauled off and started wailing on her with a broomstick, allegedly.
Allegedly, something with a broomstick. I don't know where the broomstick went, Anne.
That sounds very
I
uncomfortable,
mean,
Megan.
yeah, I mean, that's honestly my first thought was like that, but also, whatever.
So she basically she just said, "You're not taking this seriously," and it was just outrage. It was just outrage about the whole case, probably though.
And I mean, like, if you guys had the chance, think about it, you're already in jail for something that you did. You see that there's a child murderer. You don't agree with their morals. They're not taking it seriously. Like, would you guys do the same thing? Do you think?
Oh man, I mean, I think this is the story that we hear in prisons all the time, right? We hear about
Yeah.
other prisoners wanting justice for what happened. And I think that, I mean, what I've heard, thank God I haven't spent any time behind bars like that, but that these child murderers, people who commit or alleged child murders or against women, these are the ones that are the major targets in prison, right? For any kind of violence. And
Yeah.
have you ever heard this?
No, I think I think they're like there's their own set of morals and codes inside of like definitely like prison. I don't usually expect this type of behavior in like jail. Like this is a pre-trial facility, but like I know in prison, like a lot of times there's like a moral or codes like kind of being like if you did anything to children, it's like you're
Yeah.
going down.
To the question
Yeah.
of whether or not I would do this, I know that like I'm constantly being brought on to be a cantankerous contrarian
No,
about
but be
everything.
yourself, John. Be
I'm
authentic.
being myself. You don't have to tell me. Don't tell me what to do, Megan.
Whoa!
No. Sorry.
That was his cantankerous
Yeah,
side. Go ahead.
No, I don't believe. I don't know. I'm not super into vigilante justice in general. I mean,
Really? Even when it comes to like Brian
well, there's a reason why we
Koberger?
have. There's a reason why we have Well, okay, Koberger. That's a good question.
Mhm.
Yeah,
'Cause,
right.
Like
Yeah.
we've
There's
all thought
always an
about it.
exception. There's an exception to every
Sure.
rule, right?
But I mean, I don't know. Like, I don't know how I feel about it. It's also that like there is a thing that I see in the comment sections all the time. That's like, yeah, get his ass, and everybody is so eager to see like people who they deem to be worthy of an ass whooping get an ass whooping, and I just maybe it's because of my like Buddhist tolerance that I am constantly striving for. That I
John,
try to
you have
resist those
Buddhist
Yeah.
impulses.
Say, yeah, turn the
think-
other cheek kind of thing.
Yeah, that I'm like, it's not turn the other cheek. It's just like I try not to be obsessed with like looking for revenge all the time, which I
Okay.
feel like is a thing that a lot of people are super into.
Well, we've got 500,000 people that are checking out this video right now on Instagram on Criminally Obsessed, and I mean,
Yeah.
honestly, like, yeah, no, it's having huge play right now, and I think it's because it's really kind of tapping a vein to people. Like, this makes you upset when you hear that there is someone who's not taking their charges seriously. I mean, personally, it pisses me off because this means that there are so many loopholes in the law that the idea that she thinks that she could get off for this alleged crime. Obviously, she hasn't.
How do we
been
know that we think that
convicted.
she thinks that she can't get away with it? Or I mean, it's like she hasn't
But
got a trial yet. I mean,
Well, absolutely. I mean, maybe she's
True.
just doing it to maybe she didn't do it, John. I mean,
exactly.
maybe, you know,
Innocent until proven guilty.
It's
That's
not
what I
looking
always
good in
say.
this case, but yes, everyone is innocent until proven guilty. But guys, I haven't even like really gotten to like my favorite part of the story, and I want to make sure we discuss this. The audience reception. Like you said, and we have like 500,000 views on this on our Instagram, like so many comments, so much engagement. And when like this story broke and everyone found out about it, the woman who beat up Bustamante, Anita Doron, her commissary funds have been maxed out. Everyone loves what she did so much and like support her so much that like she's received the maximum amount of like transactions into her commissary. And so obviously people are really loving it.
was this woman a mom too? I mean,
And it's actually really interesting that you bring it up. We do know some stuff about Anita. We have a whole interview with her, and she says that the reason that the Genesis Mata case really struck a chord with her is because she has a 10-year-old cousin also named Genesis. And like in the interview, she talks about how like she was such a beautiful baby and how Genesis Mata is also, she was still so young. She was 8 years old, and that just really like struck a chord for her.
My little cousin Genesis, she's 10. I just remember when she was born, you know, how beautiful of a baby she was, and the fact that this little girl was 8 years old. She was still a baby too. I had wanted to get on her for a while when I heard.
Would you do this again?
Yes,
Why would you do this again?
in honor of every child that's ever been hurt and by people that they're supposed to trust.
I'm sure her lawyer doesn't want her to say that she would do it again because it's implying that she did it.
But she did.
Anyway.
She stands behind it. She has
I
no
mean,
regrets.
Again, like that sounds noble, and you know, I'm not going to get in between Anita and whoever this lady is, Bustamante.
probably not a great defense for her when they say, "Are you a threat to the community?" when you go up for parole, but that's beside the point.
I mean, she
But that's
wasn't
crazy.
in there for a violent crime. In case you guys were wondering,
I
Anita
was
was in
wondering
there
that, yeah.
for evading a peace officer and taking a vehicle without the owner's consent. I mean, that's
Again,
not a
that
horrifically
softens-
violent crime. And she
Yeah.
pleaded no contest to those charges also.
So she's honest, kind of.
Yeah. I kind of respect her. Is that
Yeah,
bad to
I mean,
say?
if this woman sees this alleged child murderer in a dark alley one day, there's going to be hell to pay. I'll tell you what. This
I
story
can't
might
wait to
not be over
see
yet.
how many people in the comments are going to express their support of Buddhist tolerance. How many?
Yes. I'm sure there'll be many people just like you, John, that think you need to mind your own business.
Everybody's going to be like, that guy John's right about everything.
I'm like, listen, she She upset a few moms and aunties out there, I think. That's what it sounds like to me.
Yeah. But I would love to see in the comments, let us know, like what you think. Do you think Anita maybe did the right thing? Do you agree with her? Would you donate to her commissary funds? I don't know. But, and I'm excited to hear your story this week.
Well, you know what? It's a story you've been following for a very long time. Everybody's been paying attention to this story. I mean, Eric and Lyle Menendez were up for parole last week. And, Friday, we found out they were both denied. So the brothers have been denied parole. They're back in prison, back where they've been for 35 years. But nobody really is talking as much about why they were denied parole. And that's something I really want to touch on, because the parole board hearing really talked about a subject that I've been covering for a very long time, and that is contraband cell phones.
Oh.
So yeah, so it really, I mean, yeah, there were these brutal murders with their parents that we have heard about, and that we had huge comments in our on all social media platforms at Criminally Obsessed as we went through what happened. But really, the why they're staying behind bars right now is because they had cell phones in prison, and those are just illegal.
Not the brutal murders, it's the cell phones. Interesting.
It's the cell phones. It's the cell phones. Parole board can't walk back the fact that it's the criminality of having these cell phones. Cell phones are used in prison to communicate with the outside world. That's not allowed. You're in prison.
It's like the whole
That's
point of
not what-
prison.
Right. You're not supposed to have this like access to the outside world whenever you want it. And that is what the parole board is making this point and saying, even Eric and Lyle Menendez, no. Yes, I know they have family members that they want to stay in touch with, but they cannot have these cell phones. They've got to use whatever's been given out by the prison system. Of course, our brothers didn't, they didn't know. They knew.
Yeah, I feel like they probably knew that they're not allowed to have cell phones.
They knew.
But they never thought they'd have a chance at parole, right?
Well, exactly. They knew, but why would they care if they were going to be stuck in prison for the rest of their lives?
Yeah, why not break some rules or make your life a little more comfortable or try to communicate with your family if you think it's never going to be held against you?
I know. And I think, I think it did kind of come up to the line of like when they were still using the cell phones and whether or not that was like kind of pushing the envelope of when they might get parole. I can't imagine that they didn't have any idea that they might have this opportunity at freedom when all this information started coming to light about the sexual abuse they've been claiming with Jose Menendez, the dad, what could overturn this whole case in their favor. But at the same time, I think the parole board's looking at, this is a problem. I think they said that in 2020, when they were looking at it, over 20,000 cell phones were recovered in these prisons. I've gone on raids in prisons to see what it looked like when they went in. There's parts of a cell phone everywhere. It's been a huge problem to try and control them. And for better or for worse, do you think inmates should have cell phones? Would that just take care of the problem?
I don't know why, but for some reason in my head, every time you mention an inmate having a cell phone, I immediately just imagine a flip phone. But like they're having smartphones, right?
Well, both. Both, honestly. And the way they get them into the prisons is unbelievable. That's the thing. That's the thing. That's the criminality that we're talking about with the parole board. It's not just that they have a contraband cell phone that they're using. It's how they're getting it.
And like disregard for the rules.
How do they get
Well,
it?
yeah. In order to get it, they've got to go, somebody's got to smuggle it in. And either they're coming in illegally with drones, smuggled in. I've seen them smuggled into footballs and basketballs and all sorts of stuff in books. That's one way. But also a correctional officer may have to turn his or her head and look the other way. So now you've got a crime on your hands with that.
Is it just... Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, it's the money of, what a cell phone costs. That's money that could be funneled through a gang operation, because the gangs are the ones that are controlling most of the contraband cell phones.
That was going to be one of my questions, honestly, is it just that it's like, oh, you're in prison, you're not supposed to have contact with the outside world, or is there like actual danger?
Absolutely. I mean, there's been hits taken
Oh.
out on guards and other
Mm.
people, and that have been
Using
orchestrated
cell
from
phones.
prison.
Wow.
There was a massive
Didn't even
riot
think of
that they
that. Oh my God.
Yeah, the contraband cell phones that I reported on was right after, several inmates were killed in a riot that they say was orchestrated by the cell phones that the guys had access to. So, they take it very seriously. I actually met with the California where they're being, held. I met with the state director when I was in Washington, and they were lobbying to have these cell phones jammed. As one security guard told me, he was like, they should just be bricks that they can throw at each other. They should not have any communication with each other. The reason this
Mhm.
guy knew what he was talking about, he had been shot after an inmate had taken a hit out on him. He had been shot at his home multiple times. And, so he became an advocate to get these cell phones turned off if they could. But it's been a struggle in the prisons because I also talked to the ACLU about this problem, and that's the Civil Liberties Union. And the folks over there say this is like really the only way they hear from the inmates and hear how they're doing, like their health, their food, the real problems in the prison system because they're not monitored calls. So they feel like they're getting the honest appraisal of what's going on in these prisons. Whether or not that's the case, the bottom line is that they're illegal
Mhm.
Right.
and they foster a system that could, you know, keep more criminality going on in the prison system. So I think that's what it was. Parole
Hmm.
boards don't like that stuff. We think that they're going to be like, "Oh, that's so they've rehabbed themselves. They're doing well." No, they just want to look at their record right now. They're not going to treat them like anybody else.
Did they use the cell phones for anything else other
I knew
than
you were
this
going to say
is
that.
a
You're going to
leading
make me
question
say
they
it.
call in
Um,
court?
uh, yeah, I think they did, John. Can you elaborate on what one of the
Not my
Menendez
story.
brothers was using it for?
Not my
I think you
story.
need to tell us, Anne. We're so
It's
curious. I know nothing.
it's hey
Oh,
everybody, it's
Megan, I think
porn.
you can tell
He's in
everybody.
prison and
Was it watching pornography?
pornography. Yes.
Yeah, and that's not me saying it.
Yeah. It's parole
That would
board.
be the brother.
But he admitted it, right? Like he
Oh
straight up
yeah,
said
he
he
was like, and I
confessed.
needed to watch pornography. You did?
Hey, he's in prison. I mean, it's
But is that okay? I don't know. I don't know how you. I don't know how you walk
we're
out of that
getting the flashing
elegantly.
red light from our producer that we should move on, please, for the love of God.
Okay, I'm Menendez shutting the book on that one. Great end,
guys.
page turner.
Well done.
Awesome.
See you never.
So as you guys know, end of August, start of September, back to school season, and you sent in you have your daughter, your son back to school, yeah?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, higher education, but it's still back to school, and I spent a fortune at Target.
Last year, there was a case at the University of Tennessee at Chattanooga of some fraternity hazing. You guys remember hearing about that? It was last September. We talked about it a little bit within the team. Well, now, August 2025, we have some new investigative documents that have been released about looking into the fraternity. I just have to say, before we get this out of the way, I feel like I don't understand fraternities. I've never understood fraternities.
I'm not exactly frat material.
And you're giving a smile that
yeah, I
makes
got a
me
son in a
think, are your
fraternity.
kids in Greek life? Both of them?
Yeah. And I was too.
You were?
Okay.
And so is my husband.
Oh my God.
Plenty of
Yeah.
decent, upstanding human beings have been in fraternities.
Hey, remember, I'm in SEC land, y'all. Like,
Yeah.
I'm in the heart of the Greek world. So yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. I have seen a lot. It's not all good, as you're about to tell us.
Yeah. Was your husband or perhaps your son in Kappa Sigma?
Why would you ask?
Okay. Because at the University of Tennessee at Chattanooga, there was a little hazing incident that went down specifically within Kappa Sigma. There were 2 fraternity members that were in the process of pledging that went to the hospital with really bad burns. And they were like, oh man, what happened here? We're going to have to put this fraternity on pause and do an investigation. And now we kind of know like maybe where those burns came from. They had a hazing process in Kappa Sig. That's what like the cool kids call it. You like shorten Sigma to Sig, just so you know. And it was called like Weather Pledge. And they had to do like all sorts of like terrible stuff to themselves, these pledges, in order to join the fraternity. And the one incident that landed them in the hospital, and we do have video of this, is them rubbing alcohol on their bare chests and lighting themselves on fire.
Get it off!
Cool.
Wait, are you serious? They set these kids on fire and they were like, that's not going to hurt.
They set themselves on fire.
Oh,
And then,
self-immolation.
and they had terrible burns. I believe that one of the two pledges that were a part of this specific hazing scandal, I know there are many, like got burns over 25% of his body and had to get
Jesus.
skin grafts.
Oh my God.
It's crazy. But, okay, you guys, that was just
Oh, we're not done yet.
That was just the tip of the iceberg. That's what we knew about back in 2024 when this first happened. Now we have the investigative reports, and there's some more hazing that went down and that we have video of. Those two pledges getting shot with airsoft guns, squeezing lemons into their eyes.
Ow!
Having rags put over their heads and then water poured on them.
So that's waterboarding.
Yes.
That's waterboarding, yeah. It is so outrageous. It really, really upsets me, I'll be honest. Like I mean, of course it does. As a parent, that the idea that you send a kid off to school, needless to say, sending a child off to university costs a fortune.
Yeah.
You are
And then the
sending
frats and sororities, they cost more on top of that.
I have another $2,000 or so for the year, but you're sending them off. You're thinking that they're going to be with like-minded individuals who are going to take care of them. They're going to grow in this community. Things are going to happen that are going to help them. And then you send them off and they end up in the burn unit with 25% of their body covered in burns because of some stupid hazing prank, which is complete horseshit. I mean, there's no way around it.
And you put your money and you paid as a parent your money for your kid to join this organization. It's not cheap. And then this is what's happening.
You know, honestly, I did not put up with any hazing with my kids.
Good. That's a great. Yeah, I was going to ask that
I did
question.
not. I did not. And neither did my kids. My kids thought it was stupid. They were like, we will never be part of a group that is going to do something like that. But they did something amazing at this university, Megan, right? Like, didn't they do?
They
what
took
did they do?
took action. So while this investigation was initially happening, Kappa Sig, like they were put on pause, like everything was just like kind of shut down for the past year. But now recently that these investigation documents have all come to light and we're seeing the videos and everything, they decided to put all Greek life on a pause at the University of Tennessee at Chattanooga.
That's a big deal. I have
Yeah.
never heard of that happening. I've heard of guys, I mean, like fraternities getting like exiled, getting banished, getting thrown off campus. They lose their homes or houses or whatever they're called. But I've never heard of them actually putting an entire fraternity.
I
Like, is
feel
it just
bad.
fraternities or is it the whole Greek
It
society?
said all
is on
Greek life.
pause?
It seems like it's just all Greek life from what I understand, which I feel bad for because I just like know that there's like some like sad sorority of girls that like they probably don't even party that much and they're just like good and they're friends and they really are sisters and they didn't deserve that.
No, they did not deserve that. But it is going to put everybody on notice that it's no longer a part of the culture. And I think that's the biggest problem at these colleges is the culture and the level of acceptance and peer pressure. And peer pressure is just, it sounds like such an 80s term when I say that out loud. But don't you think that's what it is? I mean, it's saying this is okay. We accept this.
Yeah.
But the rubbing alcohol, what the heck? I mean,
That's
that just,
how is that going to end
So
well? Like, how do you think
stupid.
that's going to go?
can you imagine how terrifying that moment was for that child?
I've had to hold my tongue a little bit, but I feel like it's not the worst thing in the world to ban fraternities from any
Yeah.
place. I mean,
Maybe it's just outdated. It's time.
I just don't understand the benefit of being in fraternities because maybe it's because I only ever hear terrible stories about this kind of bullshit. So
Well, I'll be honest with you, John. I don't think that you can really like limit to fraternities. I think that's true for
sure.
secret societies on
Yep.
campuses. I think it has to do with any club, any inclusive or exclusive, I don't know how you want to say it, like club of people that are that age that are highly influenced by each other, and there's a hierarchy of who's in charge and who's not. It's going to happen again and again. What it is that you've got to change the culture of thinking that it's okay to treat other people like that. It's got to be more about
You listening,
humanity and
Skull and
less about
Bones?
the
We're coming for you.
I know. Exactly. I mean, it doesn't matter where it is. It could be in any school. You get it in high school, but not hazing. But the problem with college is that this is when the kids finally go off to school. So they're not under their parents' protection, as it were. Or I believe me, it's Lord of the Flies, man. It's Lord of the Flies out there. Why would I have kids?
Yes. I would love to see what people think in the comments, though. Do you think this is just a case of a bad seed, one bad frat? Or do you think, like,
Mm.
maybe all Greek life needs to be
Are you on John's
reevaluated?
side?
Are you
Why
on
does
John?
Why do frats exist?
Yeah, no, I'm not on John's side.
No, but
Hashtag
I'm
Team
asking for
John.
the people in the comment section that I'm
That's what
pointing
I want
down
to see
to.
down
you
in the
on
comments
Anne's side?
below. Hashtag Team John.
Be part of the conversation.
Be a part of the conversation. Give us a like if you like us. Hit a subscribe if you wanna, which we hope you do. And also, I have some upcoming notes for other stuff that's happening on the Criminally Obsessed channel. So please remember to watch the new episodes of our series, The Mysterious Disappearance of, with Autumn Kalika on Monday at 3 p.m. here
It's
on the
so
Criminally Obsessed
amazing.
YouTube page. It's so awesome. It just premiered this
Mhm.
past week, and I just loved watching it. I thought it was really awesome. And then don't forget, we also have the latest episode of People Are Crazy with Eric Hamlet. New episodes drop on Wednesdays at 3 p.m. And us here, will be off next Friday as our team is going to CrimeCon. Well, every single person on our team, except for me and also our community manager, Kimberly, we're both randomly going to different weddings. But I'm excited because we'll be here the next week to do a little talk back, and you guys can like tell me like everything you learned. So I hope you remember everything and maybe even get me some of like that free swag, because I would really appreciate it. I have huge FOMO.
Oh my gosh. I mean, and if you're going to CrimeCon, if we have any listeners, viewers right now that are going to CrimeCon, we've got a booth, Criminally Obsessed, and there's going to be a very fun thing going on at that booth. One of the things is you're going to get a sneak peek preview.
I'm so
of
jealous.
Nowhere to Run,
Yes.
which is a podcast I've been working on for a minute about wilderness therapy schools, and I want to hear everything that you have to say about it. So if you're going to CrimeCon, you're going to see us there, except for Megan. But I'll hold up. Maybe Megan can give me like a little face thing.
Like a
so I can be
cardboard
like,
cutout.
"Here's yeah, for sure. And like, if you want your picture with Megan, she's sitting right here.
I really would like any way to feel included. I am
You can
feeling
I know we're
FaceTime
gonna
through the
miss you
wedding.
terribly, but I'm excited to see you, John, and
Excited
see
to
our
see you too.
team, and we will definitely hold a candle for you, Megan,
Thank you so
while you're at
much.
the wedding, looking absolutely gorgeous, I'm sure.
Oh, I'll send you pics. All right.
Good.
Bye.
Bye.